Alright everyone, so as you can tell by the appearance of my dock down here, I've upgraded to Mac OS version 10.5 Leopard, and specifically I waited until 10.5.2 came out to make the switch, because prior to this update there were a couple things that really irritated me with the Leopard, and I had Tiger running and there was no good reason for me to upgrade to Leopard until they fixed some of the issues. Specifically, the big thing that I'm talking about here is, of course, the transparent menu bar. So, if you look at it over here, they give you the option to turn menu bar translucency off and on. Now, prior to 10.5.2, this is what you had to deal with. You had to be really conscious or aware of what kind of desktop or wallpaper you would use on your desktop. And if you didn't match it up properly, or if you didn't use a dark colored background on your desktop, the menu bar would just go to crap and it became a little bit harder to read. So with the introduction of 10.5.2, they of course give you the option to turn off the translucency, and it makes a big improvement right there, as you can tell. So that in itself was enough to make me want to switch over to Leopard, was the fact that they give you the option to turn off that effect. And honestly, it helps out a lot. It brings back the functionality of Tiger's menu bar back into Leopard, and they revamped it a little bit. They give you a black apple menu now. They changed the translucency of the individual menu items when you drop down, so you can see the menu items a little more distinctly as well. So that in itself was enough to make me to jump over to Leopard. But even if they didn't fix that, or on top of that, they fixed a lot of other things as well. One of the big disappointments about Tiger was that Spotlight was really ineffective. And in Tiger there was no good way that you could get Spotlight to work. Now, if you look at Spotlight now, you can really use it as an application launcher. So you can use it to launch any application that you desire. And I like the fact that, you know, it matches to applications first instead of documents. Previously I had to memorize the menu shortcuts. Like if I wanted to go to applications, I had to use the keyboard shortcut, click on that, go to applications, and then find the application. Now I can really use Spotlight, and that's how it should have been in 10.4 Tiger. It took them a while. They redesigned it, they recoded it, so Spotlight works like how it's supposed to, and it's good. It's glad, and it's just a faster, better implementation. Another thing that they really fixed also was software update. Now before in Tiger, software update used to take about anywhere from a minute to a minute and a half to check for new software on the servers. In Leopard, they really clean it up. It's a lot faster now, and it feels like previously when I used to have Panther, software update feels just as fast as Panther, or if not faster. So software update got a lot faster also. Really good code optimization there. I like that a lot. If you run Java applications, if you maybe use Eclipse or Azurius, or if you have Java applets on a web page, you notice that Java launch times are sped up as well. You'll notice maybe about a 20% speed difference. It's not super dramatic, but you will notice that there's a difference, and I'd say anywhere from a 10 to 20% speed boost. So it's just enough so that you notice that Java does work more quickly, more efficiently in Leopard as well. Memory management. I was surprised about memory management as well. It seems like that when you first boot up the system in Leopard, you have more free memory available to you. Now before, when I was running Tiger, normally when I boot up the system I would start off with 1.5 gigabytes of free memory. Now in Leopard they actually give you 100 more megabytes. So typically when I start up Leopard now, my free RAM comes up to 1.6 gigs, which is, you know, coming from Windows, it's surprising. It's nice. because it always seems like that when every update or refresh to the OS, they are able to more tightly write the code. And I remember going from, say, Panther to Tiger, there's a noticeable speed up in startup, even on iBooks or PowerPC machines. So it seems like that on every update to the operating system, they clean up the code, they fix things like memory leaks, they clean up the boot processes. And the one good thing about OS X is that an operating system upgrade is really an upgrade. It's not like going from Windows, where going from 98 to XP, where you notice that your system slows down. On Macs or an OS X, upgrade really means upgrade, and everything really does get sped up. So that's one good thing that they fixed also. Memory and system resource management got cleaned up, so it's a bit smoother, so it picks up. Good stuff on the memory usage also. If you're a terminal junkie, one thing that you might appreciate is that terminal now supports tabs. So what you can do here is you can perhaps run an instance of an editor in one tab, switch over to a second tab, and prototype your code and see what's happening. So if you do any type of coding or testing or whatever it is, having the multiple tabs in terminal is useful. So it's one thing that I really like. And they also give you the option to have themed variations of terminal. So if I go in here, they give you a different set of defaults for your terminal. You can set up like an ocean or a grass or basic terminal. So they give you predefined themes also. So it's just a nice improvement. Terminal's solid, so that's what I use now. And the only bad things about Leopard that I've noticed so far is disk utility. I don't know if it's necessary anymore, but I just got into the habit of repairing disk permissions after every software update. And now when you run disk permissions, at least on my MacBook, the CPU fans will spin up full throttle. It'll spike the CPU usage up to 50%, and disk permissions will take about 4 minutes to complete now. So I don't know why disk utility took such a dramatic downturn. Previously in Tiger, a disk repair or repairing permissions only takes about 50 seconds to a minute. Now you're going to spend at least 4 or 5 minutes waiting for the permissions to repair. So that's just one thing that they kind of broke, I think, when they made the transition over. I don't know why that is, but hopefully they'll fix that. There's also a minor bug, I think, in the Finder. For example, when I was doing the initial trimming of applications, so normally certain applications will come bundled with language files, and it would come with like Russian, Belgian, French, Chinese, Korean. So it would have all those various language files in the application bundles, and normally I like to just take it out, trim it down, and save me some disk space. But I noticed that when I was going through the process, after every instance of me emptying the trash or getting rid of those language files, the Finder would just crash. It would just out of nowhere, it would just go down the drain and it would just crash. And when you're trying to set up the system and when you're trying to trim the binaries on, say, 20 or 30 applications, it gets old really quickly. So pretty much those are the only two gripes I can count against Leopard, was maybe some Finder issues and disk utility. Aside from that, if you're waiting to upgrade, I would say go for it. As long as your individual applications support Leopard, there's really no reason not to upgrade. Pretty solid OS, good upgrade, good features. Alright, so that's about it. Peace.